I'm live then. Okay, this is Jamil Salib Zamir out of Manning, South Carolina. Sincerely thanking everyone who will and has tuned into any of our broadcasts. Again, you can check us out on the 19 Report on YouTube. And the reason I'm trying to steer you towards YouTube is because donate to our you can donate to our nonprofit, the Community of Concerned Citizens on YouTube. And that money goes towards more mobility. We'll be able to do more things. If you've seen in the past, we've started to go, myself and Dale Castro Power started to go out more and help people in the community who ask us for help. And I want you to try your best to understand uh, that we are not compensated financially for that. The equipment, the generators, the speakers, the backdrops, the gas to get there, the physical labor, the people we have to hire to come and help us. We don't get paid for any of that. So whatever finances that we can be compensated for while we're doing that, then that goes right back into what we're doing. I just had to put my wife and I over $2,000 into repairing our truck, the truck that we used to pull the trailer with. Again, all of that stuff costs money. And if any of you are in business, you understand that very, very well. So this is something that we want to do, but we are believers that the community, after seeing the good that you do by God's permission, would want to help you in spreading and continuously spreading that information and helping people who are in need of help. We got a lot to cover today, so I hope you will stay tuned. Give me a moment to do the intro. We're going to do the Like It Is intro today, and then we're going to go right into the broadcast. Please stay tuned as we will be talking about your father, the devil. But we're also talking about the other side of devil, which is double. Your father, the double. Your mother, the double. The other side of yourself that is causing all of the hell that we're going through life. This is what Satan was after. This is what the slave master was after when he enslaved us. This is what Satan was after in the Garden of Eden, to bring out that second side of yourself that you have no control over. And no matter what we do or how we do it, we are not able to get into the minds of our children and help them to navigate through life, because the double has taken over and we are slaves to desire. Please stay tuned. We will be right back.
Tell me like it is, and not like it was. Tell me like it is, and not like it was. Tell me like it is. Tell me like it is. Like it is. Like it is.
Thank you again. This is Jamil Salib Zamir giving the utmost praises to God by whatever name you choose to call him. I am a Muslim. I want to give recognition to Nuri Ali out of Columbia, South Carolina. I just listened to a message that he delivered that was shared through Sister Salima. And Sister Salima has lost a child at an early age. And Nuri Ali also lost a child, I think around the same age, 14 years old, murdered cold-bloodedly, calculatedly, murdered by children peers of their age group. I cannot fathom the feeling of that. I have lost children in my life. I have lost children to the streets after trying to educate them to the knowledge of the street, to the knowledge of the time, and to how difficult it was to navigate through life based on my own experiences. They chose that. That's the life they chose. And once they choose it, it is very, very difficult to come back from that. So I want to go into biblical scripture a little bit. And listen, this is the ticket to the greatness of the internet. Should you say to yourself, I don't want to hear that right now, I got something else to do, basketball, share the link to someone else, because someone else may need what you don't need. Someone else may need to hear what you don't need to hear. Because I'm telling you, we are running through life trying to find happiness because we're so depressed, we're so down, we don't see anything of hope for tomorrow. So we're trying to cram in anything of that we perceive as value. So we're lusting, the lust of our hearts is what we're after. And the scripture says the lust of your heart you will do. So today I want to go into biblical text a little bit, not a lot, because I'm not a preacher and I don't like preachy people. But if you don't understand biblical text and how to talk to people, especially in the South, from the Bible, although I am a reader of the Quran, I am a reader of Hebrew text, I am a reader of the Kabbalah, I am a reader of the Hindu, oh man, I can't remember the name. I read all of that stuff. I study it all because it's all relevant to our life and how we are right now. And history is best qualified to reward all of our research. And the one thing about life right now that frightens me the most is that our churches are telling people to forget the past. Now, you may not mean that literal, but people take things literal. Like we take the Bible literal as opposed to metaphorical and allegorical. We take it literal. Okay. So today we are talking about your father, the devil, your father, the double. The person who is over us today is our weaker self, the second self of self. That is what is controlling us as males. And any society that can destroy the male can control the female. That was the ultimate goal of slavery. Destroy the male in front of the wife, buck break the male, actually have sex with them. They strapped us down and they penetrated us anally in front of our wife, in front of our children. And if they couldn't do that, they would pull our bodies apart with horses. And if they couldn't do that, they would have sex with our women in front of us and dare us to do something about it. This is not hatred. This is something that you need and I need to understand in order to understand how to reach our children today. They think we are soft. They think we did not fight. They think that we are weak, and they think because they found a way to scheme through life that they are better qualified to know what we already know. They don't even realize that they are being led into this life. Like one of the children that the Pied Piper blows the flute to take away from their parents. That is that generalized nursery rhyme that the Pied Piper could play music and take our children away from us. And as a parent, the one thing that a father does not want is for someone else to take control of their house. We, as men, say, I'll die before I let someone take control of my home. But we fell in love with lies. That's my issue with this movie, The Harder They Fall. We take it literal and we fall in love with lies like we did with Black Panther and Wakanda. Well, the star of Wakanda unfortunately died from cancer. He's gone. But we still take these things literal and we will not fight the realistic life battle that has been placed before us throughout the biblical text. All we got to do is study it. So let's go into this a little bit. Give me an hour. Your father, the devil, devil. When a person becomes a devil, they are living a reverse life of what God says to live. If you reverse the word devil, lived, lived. We want to live. You hear people saying, man, I just want to live. I just want to live. But living to us means to follow our lowest desires and enjoy the ride. God does not want that for us. But being a creator of man, knowing that if I am God and I am 100% this way, then there has to be an equal and opposite the other way. Your father, my father, the double. The devil of myself, Jamil. I am a rapist, the devil of me. I am a child molester. I am a robber. I'm a murderer. I can chop a person up. I probably could eat a person's heart. I would enjoy watching a person that I dislike die. I could kill someone if I could get away with it. I could rob a bank. I could burn people up. I could burn a person alive with a Molotov cocktail. That is a part of who I am, because as good as I am one way, I'm just as bad the other way. You are too. So when I meet people, I don't care how much you're smiling. I don't care how much you're saying, praise the Lord Jesus is God. I know that there is a double of you because God made that very clear in the Bible. When he created the heavens and the earth, he told all the angels, according to the Quran, bow down to this man that I made. One of the angels, they say this is the angel of music, said, I'm not bowing down to that man. He missed his position. He says, God says, why will you not bow when I command you to? He said, I'm not bowing to that man when I am made of fire and he's made of dust. That sealed the situation that this angel of music had in God's kingdom. God says, because you refuse, I'm going to cast you down. This angel says, and this is metaphorical talk, this is esoteric knowledge that I'm telling you. Look beyond what I'm saying and look deeper into it. If you cannot look deeper into it, you miss the point. I cannot tell you everything. You got to find the knowledge for yourself. The angel says, because you have found me guilty, I am going to stand in your straight path. And I'm going to take as many people off of the straight path as I can. God gave the angel permission to do that. Listen to what I'm saying. The book says we war not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and spirits of wickedness in high places. We're trying to save our children through the flesh. But Satan is coming after their soul. He's giving them everything they want right in our homes. The teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that once the television came into the home, Satan was right there. Now it's not just television, it's computers. Now at 6 and 7, our children know every sexual position there is to know. They know bestiality, how to have sex with animals. They're looking at women's titties. They're looking at ass. They want to have sex with a man. All of these things as Satan promised. Because Satan is a part of us. He is the devil. And when something can entice your negative self and you can justify it in your mind, you succumb and I succumb to Satan. Here's the proof. Satan tells God, I'm going to try your people. God says, fine, try them. We're in the Garden of Eden now. God tells man and woman, like father tells, girl and boy, like mother tells, girl and boy, don't do that. Don't hang around him. Don't go over there. You can go over there, but don't go over there. God told them, their creator told them, you can eat from this tree of life, but as for the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, don't touch that. It's too powerful for you. You can't come back from that. As a parent, mothers, fathers, we tell our children, don't touch the street. The street is undefeated. You can't come back from that. But because that is where the devil is, because that is where our children think they can, what? The opposite of devil, live, L-I-V-E. They think they can live there. They think that we're causing them to die because we're trying to keep them on a straight path. Hello, somebody. Lord have mercy. Here we go. God didn't just put them in the garden. He allowed that same Satan. Don't y'all believe it was no snake? No snake do no talking now. That same Satan of self, after God said, don't do that, that same Satan came and said, why? Why would God tell you not to know good and evil knowledge? He knows it. If you know good and evil, you will be a God too. And that is where they drop the ball, succumb to their double. That is how our children drop the ball. Next thing you know, they sneaking boys through their windows, girls through their windows in our homes, smoking drugs, playing loud, God-forsaken music. All of these things, and when we tell them to stop, they think that we are stopping them from what? Living. Stopping them from being the devil that they desire to be. Well, how can a person desire to be a devil? And not only a devil at this point, but they are glorified in the fact that not only am I a devil, but I am a demon on demon time. Nothing in this world is of good to me if I can't just give in to my desires and my lusts. How did that happen? How did our children go to another person and call them mama, daddy, grandma, granddaddy? After all we did for them, no good, low down, ungrateful so-and-sos. And how can they justify that? Because that parent over there that they're calling their pseudo mama, pseudo daddy, let them do whatever the hell they want to do. So they get to live over there. But over here, we are trying to prepare them for the real battle of life. So you will begin to see your children, no matter how good you treat them, turn on you. Because God gave Adam and Eve, not white folks. Let's just say Adam, billions of Adams, Eves, billions of Eves, life. And they said, F you, man. We're going to do what our second self says to do. We want the pleasures of life. Your and my father, the devil. So we are looking outside of ourselves for the devil. And the book says, if someone say that God is here, God is there, lo, no, don't believe them. He's not in the desert. He's not over here. He's not over there. The kingdom of heaven is within you and me. The book says that. This is not me. I'm not trying to make you follow. I never ask you to follow me anywhere. I go through absolute hell every single day, moment of my life, trying to figure out how to deliver this message to you, because this is my assignment. I gave up everything for this. I am talented. I'm gifted. I am. I had a record contract, a rap contract. I am a talented airbrush artist. I lost everything. I can fix anything. But when this assignment came, I said, I want that. Because I could see down the annals of time how our children were going to fall. I saw it. God gave it to me. So every single day of my life, I fight trying to figure this out for us. I raised my 3 boys on my own, and they all decided they had some place to be. We talk now. I don't trust them. I got a son at the house right now, and when he started lying to me, I said, son, I don't trust you. You're my son. I love you. But I saw the double. Now all of my children got a double life. You dig? One with me and one in the street. And that's what's happening to you. That's why at 14 and 12, your children are being murdered because they got a double life. In the street, they're doing something opposite of what you told them to do. You know I'm telling the truth. But our love for them won't allow us to let them go. We try to hold on to them, but they're bringing violence and death. How is that getting past our guard as parents? Who got the mother out of the home to go and work? Who put the father out of the home because he ain't have no job? But in spite of all of that, our responsibility, as Nuri Ali was saying, we still got to pick up that baton. Rather, we got $100 or 100 pennies. It's our responsibility. And one thing I will tell you to this day, the black man does not want to be responsible. He will work a job because he wants nice toys. His devil wants to satisfy the lust of the world. That's why when we get something new, God bless me, God, God, God. Listen, give me a little bit more time, 46 minutes left. Man rebelled against God. What did God do? He didn't kill him. He threw him out of the garden. And not only did he throw them out, but he put cherubims at the gate with flaming swords, with guns, and said, you or anything that you desire to do will not be allowed back into the Garden of Eden until you change your ways. And from the book of Genesis to the book of Revelation, man did not change his ways. So in the book of Revelations, it talks of a new heaven, a new earth. Why? Because we did not repent of our sins. The cells that make up cancer are in the body all the time. You can't get rid of them. It's a part of the body's makeup. But when those cells decide to hang out together, they kill the body. I'm going to say that again. The cells that make up cancer hangs out in the body all of our life. We can never get rid of them. But when they decide, let's get together in the pancreas. Let's get together in the colon. Let's get together in the liver. Let's get together in the lungs, in the throat, in the testes, in the anal cavity. Let's get together in the bone. Cancer destroys. So the lesson that God gives us is when a cancer, rather it's your child or mine, enters the community, they have to be excommunicated. They got to go. But as parents, we love them so much. We make so many excuses. But God don't make no excuses. But he gives us what is called mercy. Your and my father, the devil. You have another person inside of you that you must contend with, that you must understand. This is the person that makes me to think that what I'm doing is right when it's not. The fight that you all are going through, young people, the reason you high every day, the reason you drunk every day, the reason you got to find something to stimulate you because you're so down and depressed every day. Y'all are the most depressed generation. There was not this much depression during slavery, man. You got more, but you're never satisfied. From the Garden of Eden, angels to demons, demon allowed to entice man and thrown out into the garden to test man's desire. The cherubims lock the gate and guard the gate. In Clarendon County, they got what are called gated communities, or areas where if you enter there and they know that your car is not a part of their entourage or their group of people who live there, they're going to follow you and ask you what you got going on. Because that's how you keep evil out of your community. That's what you're seeing with these white folks asking black people, you belong here? You're supposed to be here? They're out of line, of course. But they're doing that based upon the reality of how we're plastered over the TV as niggers, as killers, as murderers, as lazy. We did that to ourselves. We allowed it to be done. So now that it's not just in America, man, over in Dubai, I've been there. In Bahrain, they think of us the same way. We just niggas. Jamaica, Puerto Rico, the Grand Turk, all these places, we just niggas. We presented that to people. We got to fix that. Let's move on. The voice carries a frequency with it. Whoever has the proper frequency in their vocal cords when they're speaking captivates their audience. In seminary school, you have to practice how to captivate the audience. So preachers and God and they practice that stuff. Dr. Martin Luther King practiced that speech before he did the I Have a Dream speech. He practiced it at a church. Look it up. I'm not lying to you. They got to practice that stuff to see the reactions of the people. You got to study in order to prove yourself worthy of your position. But we don't want to study. We just want to know. And in wanting to know, we negate all of the necessary steps to get us where we want to go. We skip them all. And the frequency of the vocals, the frequency of the sound, these things That's why the Satan that was ejected from heaven was a composer of sound, of music. I'm going somewhere. If you never listened to one of my broadcasts before, I always tell you, you got to listen to the beginning. Somehow you got to get to the middle, and somehow you got to listen to the end, because it all compiles together at the end. So that double that we all have, that's the frequency you all are on now. You're on self-satisfaction. White folks have already been on that frequency. They were on that frequency when they brought us into slavery. They worked that frequency to the point where they said, we now got to give that same frequency to black people. How do you do that? You give some of them more than others. You allow some of them in your schools more than others. And once they get a position like white folks, they want to be like white folks. This isn't racism. I'm trying to show you how the double of yourself is brought out and made to be the dominant self, and how we begin to use what is called cognitive dissonance to justify somebody got to do it. When the crack epidemic started in '89 in New York, rather than the black folks saying we got to figure out how to get our children out of this, they joined it. Somebody got to do it. The crack epidemic here in the South, we joined it. Somebody got to do it. The fentanyl, we joined it. But they got a movie called, a series called Dope Sick on Hulu, of where white folks fight it. Open up clinics, methadone clinics, to get their future off of the drugs. But we do just the opposite. So who is the devil? I'm telling you who the devil is. I'm telling you that the original man has the original makeup and the genetics of both God and devil. I'm telling you that. Just listen very close, because somebody fooled us into thinking that everything black is good. Everything black is not good, because black has to battle with itself. And when we begin to think that we are so high and mighty that we don't have a lower self, that's where the problem comes in. That's where preachers who were doing good at one point end up sleeping with young boys in the church, because of the devil. As high as you go up, as low as you got to come down. And our young boys and girls run from the lower. The minute they start to feel uncomfortable, they jet out. They run. They're weak as all get up. They will blow your brains out. They will shoot you, your mama, the dog, the cat, and the refrigerator. But them son of a guns cannot handle their own self. That's why they like to party so. They got to have a party, got to be around people, got to be making noise. You remember those movies back in the day where the black Sambo always had his eyes stretched open and had to be whistling in the dark, scared of quiet? Well, the new nigga is afraid of quiet. That's why they always got to be making noise all the time. Can't be quiet. Because the frequency of quiet is going to make you, what they call white noise, is going to make you say to yourself, who am I? What am I? This is going to take longer than I thought. I ain't even get off the first paragraph yet. I apologize. But I'm going to run past a few things. We got 32 minutes left. They test things in other countries, and then they block those countries off from this country so that you don't know that tests are being executed. In Australia, in Australia, as I speak, they are protesting on the streets. They are fighting, killing, dying in Australia, because this horrible thing that happened on last year where people started dying, and they wanted us to take that inoculation. In Australia, they're fighting that. And what they have created is an inoculation police. This is all true. Look it up. And those police if you don't have proof that you've been inoculated and you leave your home within 3 miles of your home, they practicing this there because they're going to do it here. Because this winter, y'all think it's over with, but this winter is going to be a rough deal on us. Mark my word. We still on your father, the devil. Because the way they keep you and I away from this kind of knowledge is that they keep us entertained. But even in entertainment, they are utilizing it to destroy us. I'm going to prove that in a minute. Then I think I'm going to close for the day. I ain't even start the whole thing yet. But I thank God for giving me the ability to start. You leave within 3 miles of your home, the police are going to come, arrest you, and this is all true. And they're going to write you a ticket. The tickets can go from $5,000 to $10,000. And if you can't pay it, they take your home from you. I'm not lying to you. They're going to force this on everybody. Not because it's beneficial and it's saving lives. They're going to force this because this is in conjunction with something else that is going to further and completely shut the soul of our children off from God. Once this occurs, there will be no turning back for our children. So the scripture says, father will be against son, mother against daughter. This is where we are going. This is what's about to happen. Why? Because we think this is a joke. You actually believe that if you don't listen to what people like me and others are saying, that you are not held accountable, but ignorance of God's intent is no excuse. It's coming. And we waste year after year after year partying, having a good time, gambling, killing, shooting, screwing, having babies we don't raise, and here come another generation of savages that you protect. You protect the savages. This lazy generation, my wife let me hear a minister today talking on subjects that I talked about, but he delivered it so well. This lazy generation of black boys who will sit up in the house and let their mama wash the car, cut the grass, pump the gas, put air in the tire, don't know how to fix a tire. And you Negroes out there talking about y'all hustlers and get y'all living under Section 8 with your girlfriend, with your lazy behind, don't want to go to work, smoke weed all day, play music all day, but you dress to thrill. And then you go and rob somebody else of what they work hard for, scamming and thinking you a man. You're not a man. You a punk, and you will forever be one. I don't care who you can beat. I don't care who you can kill. Somebody will eventually kill you. I promise you that. And if they don't kill you, they'll kill the next thing closest to you so you can feel it. We are in the day of retribution. Welcome to it. Welcome to an eye for an eye. Welcome, because I'm trying to figure out by God's permission how to match anybody that come my way. I want it, but I'm asking God to forgive me for wanting it so bad. You know how somebody threaten you like, I'm going to get you at 5 o'clock? Nigga, let's get it on right now. Why 5 o'clock? Right now is good. Win or lose. Because people who think they know everything, we got to shut them up. People who think they're the toughest, we got to shut them up. We're the cherubims. We're the watchmen. Look it up in the Bible. It talks about the watchmen. God says, when I give you a message and you do not deliver the message, you are guilty of not delivering the message. But if you do tell the people what I told you to tell them, you are a watchman over the people. That's what we are. The one thing we got to get over is the fear of death. And once we get over the fear of death, that's all these young folks got. I'll kill you. I'll shoot up your house. And when you tell them, come on, nigga, bring it, cracker, bring it, then they got nothing left. And when you say it, you mean it. I want to mean it. So I ask God every night, let me mean it. Let me destroy. Listen, when I was in the hospital, my wife will tell you I had a horrible nightmare. I beat a young boy. I disfigured his face because he shot my nephew, who was beginning to start college running track. And he just came to my house and shot my nephew. and I beat him. I beat him to death. I'm talking about the devil. Everybody got it. The only difference between you guys and us, the only difference is that you practice your devil every day. We're trying to lean towards God. So it's going to take us a longer time to match your devil, but it'll come. We can shoot you, but why the hell would we want to do that with our own children? White folks trying to save theirs. The Mexicans are coming and taking all the jobs that you niggas don't want. As the gentleman was saying on the broadcast today, and I've said in the past, they working hard, you over there smoking weed and listening to rap music and telling the boss what you gonna do and what you ain't gonna do. Ladies and men, both. We crazy. We think we're living. Lord have mercy. I'm gonna close with this now. Listen, I want to play two videos, but three. And then they're not long, like 4 minutes apiece, and I might not even play the whole thing. But I'm gonna say this: people were commenting on Kanye West's video with the Drink Champs, and if you understand esoteric knowledge, if you understand masonry, and I was a knight of Pythagoras at 18. Myself and many of the other brothers, we were brought into the Temple number 99 in Clarendon County. We were brought into that early. We couldn't even be Masons yet. We were studying upstairs with the gods, though. We were building with them. And when I got to the first degree, I said, you know, this ain't for me. If I got the knowledge, if you give it to me, I want to give it to others. And one of the brothers said, well, if this isn't for you, I got one more thing. He said, I don't want anything to do with it, but I think it'll work for you. And he introduced me to Islam, as taught by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Now, I have since had some disagreements with the nation and how, you know, they think we're supposed to just give them all of our money and not build where we are. So, of course, you get ostracized for that. And that's fine. But the knowledge of it, I'll never leave it. I'll never talk bad about the minister or the nation or the Honorable Elijah Muhammad or Master Farad Muhammad or any of the believers who came out of the temples. That's not necessary. But because I was given that knowledge and understanding how to read biblical scripture, and then there was a pastor who taught me how to speed read, a minister, a Christian minister. And he read a book one time and he read it so fast. And I was like, how do you do that? He's like, you skip through the nonsense. Most of it is filler words. You skip through it. And then if you have to come back, you go to it. So I learned how to study, and I learned how to study history. And I wanted to share that with my people more than anything. And the more I studied, the more God pulled on me. I lost a place to stay. I lost my place at Morris College because Hurricane Hugo hit. I was homeless for 3 months. I had a son, you know, and I had responsibilities. I had no money. I had to move in with my sister. Many of y'all know my sister and her husband. And listen, it was a man. But in all of it, I never turned away from God through all of it. I've lost the eye. I've lost my hand. I just had open heart surgery. I died 3 times. I don't have no money. Every dime I get, I put back into this. So it's a difficult ride, but I want to ride it out. And I'm not riding it out blindly. I'm riding it out with God. So Kanye is talking about the 808 kick drum and frequency. I want to show you right now. I'm going to be talking while it's playing. And no, I didn't want to remove it. I wanted to put it on there. Yeah. So I'm going to be talking while it's playing, but I'm going to let this go ahead and run. And I'm going to flip my camera around if I can. Yeah. I built this thing, man. So I could flip my camera around and let people see on Instagram. And the technology is on point, man. So there's so many things in my house that I could copyright and get paid for. But you know, it's difficult to find someone you can trust. So here we have what the 808 kick drum and sound frequency does to the blood and the veins in the body as the music is playing. And what scientists have figured out is that that heavy 808 drum, that bottom, sometimes that bass bottom, that heavy boom, and the frequency of the keyboards, they found out around 1990 in hip hop how to make that weaponized and use it as a weapon against our young people. And use it as you can see as I'm talking, I'm showing you the cymatics. It's called cymatics, but this is how sound affects the body. Let me put this closer to the, yeah. You see the ripples in the water? That's what's happening to your and my blood when that bass goes boom. You see the water is on a speaker. So when the body is disturbed in that way, the body becomes angry and the body becomes what's the word I'm looking for? Help me, Almighty God, Allah. The body becomes disoriented. As the gentleman was saying today, why is it that there is so much domestic violence? And after the episode is over, most of the time the husband, the wife have killed someone, but don't even realize that they did. It's the music. Look at this. Look at the keyboard and how the keyboard affects the water. The water, our bodies is 70% water. So everything that we listen to, everything that we hear, everything that we introduce into our bodies musically is affecting our entire genetic makeup. It's changing our genetics. And these are white folks that I'm showing you who are experimenting with sound. So they experimented with sound. And they understood that the bass and the keyboard sounds can change the genetics. And that's what they did in church. That's why when you go in there, that can affect your body positively or it can affect your body negatively. But they have weaponized music. As a musician myself, not a musician, I'm an engineer of music. I know that there are unlimited levels of tracks that you can put on a song. And if I put something on one of those tracks that's low enough, but clear enough for you to hear it, then I can tell you to kill your mama and you would probably do it. It's a chance that you take, but it's a probability that if you don't kill your mama, you'll kill somebody else. The same thing with video. The same thing with this is showing you the dangers of music. So this era of music is weaponized music. The most dangerous music that's why they're giving away these free beats on YouTube. And y'all are using these drill beats over and over to drill that sound and that frequency and those inculcations, those thoughts, those ideas straight into your soul, because Satan is now after the soul of the young. Satan wants to destroy the soul. So you see your child who you thought loved you turn against you because they no longer are connected with you through soul. James Brown made a song called I Know You Got Soul. In the 70s, James Brown was on the CIA and FBI's hit list because of a concert that he did when there were riots in Chicago, I think, and he calmed down all of the people in the audience. And when they saw he had the ability verbally with the frequency of his vocal throne, his vocal cords, to calm that crowd, they said he is a threat. So before James Brown died, he was a drug addict and he had married a white woman. That was the only way that he would be left alone. Only way. This is a man that talked black from day one, but he was broken. They broke Bill Cosby. They broke R. Kelly. They know what these people were doing. They take the best that we have, and within a few years, they break them. So we got nothing to look forward to. Even if Kanye West was saying something of value, he's not well. He is allowed to say certain things, and that's why I was talking about the Masonic order. You are allowed to say certain things, and if somebody catches it, well, fine, they can learn from it, but the average person will not catch it. Why? Because we are starstruck. We don't care what the person is saying as long as they say it, and we can say, hey, man, I like what he said, man. That dude, man, he got the knowledge. All right. I want to play something else for you real quick. Let me turn this back around. I really like this thing, man. I made a little swing thingy, man, a little arm where I can swing my camera around, because Instagram doesn't allow you to share certain things like other platforms do. So yeah. I thank God for that. Made it last night, almost in no time. But you can't let people see what you're doing. So we are talking about your father, the devil, and I think we're gonna have to do another part of this. And I'm sorry about that. I had no idea that God was going to use my energy that way, but it was necessary. It was necessary. Okay. I want to play this clip right here. I'm add it on real quick, and then I'm going to
Chuck is consistently ranked as one of the.
And this is Chuck D, Public Enemy. Now, Chuck D and Public Enemy have been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know a lot. You hear a lot from Professor Griff talking about the industry and how it works. But Chuck D is about to explain something, and I want you all to see this, my young people, how Satan has taken control of our children. I better make that smaller so you can see it, right? Yeah, you can see the whole thing. And I want you to see, and I want you to hear, and I won't play it all, but I'm going to play this piece of what the music industry did after it was 1990 that they started understanding the power of rap music, and how they changed rap music to be a negative energy as opposed to a positive. Because even the rappers in Los Angeles were rapping about Toddy T. Toddy T is a rapper. Go look him up. Toddy T had a song I called a Batter Ram. And Toddy T was talking about don't get into drugs because I can't remember the chief of police then, but they had this big metal car that they would just run through your house called the Batter Ram. And he had a song called the Batter Ram. And all of the rappers were saying, stay away from gang life. We this for life because we chose it. Once in, blood out. But don't you get involved with it. But they would only give contracts to these rappers if they would change their tone of don't join the gangs to glorifying the gangs, as they did with homosexuality. If you're a homosexual, that's just something that you were. But now they pay people to promote it. Now you got 10, 11-year-old children talking about they're homosexual and don't even know what sex is. So I'm going to play this, and I'm going to play this part, and then I'm going to play it again because I want you to hear what Chuck D is saying.
Chuck is consistently ranked as one of the top MCs and lyricists of all time.
The whole game and trick is that they could get time on their side and get a couple of generations who are really combative about it to get old and pass on, and trick the new generations and throw toys at them to hold them off. And one of the biggest crimes is the MTV networks and the Booty and Thug network of BET that's hijacked hip hop and rap music. And their whole games is to extend teenage years to 35. This has been the principle since 1990. Let's turn teenagers from 17 to 35. And when they wake up out of the fog at 36 years old, they feel that, with 3 or 4 kids, they're paralyzed to move left or right. And so they got to go with the flow.
There you have it. I wanted you to grasp that first. From 18 to 35, they showed our young people these 4-wheelers, motorcycles, fun, girls, bitches, hoes, music, money, and they use adults to do it. They use Khaled and and Diddy and Kanye and all of these to lead our children into oblivion. And the whole time as parents, we at home teaching them, buying them these CDs and albums, allowing them to listen to it, thinking that it's harmless, but it's the frequency in the music. And Kanye West, in his last speech on his last interview on Drink Champs, was talking about that. He was allowed to talk about that a little bit. When he went, if he go too far, he'll be dead. When Pimp C went too far, he was dead. When Whitney Houston started talking too much about the industry, she was dead. And the way that you die is a horrible thing because they're going to make it a ritualistic thing. I said they're going to make it ritualistic. So by the time you're 35 and you're locked into this meaningless life, you know how horrible it is to hear your child say, I want to be a rapper. What do? I'm a rapper. And you find all of these local rappers, they're not going to make a dime because you're not a part of the industry, champ. You're not a part that they pay you to destroy your people, but they're coming to South Carolina. They're going to hire some of these crappy ass rappers to rap this negative music to our children. And our job as cherubims is to stop it. I'm not saying don't rap. If that's your thing and you want to do that, find the people who want that and go over there and do that. That's the great thing about God. He didn't kill Adam and Eve. He just told them, leave. Go over there. Go that way. Miss me with that. Do it your way. And let's see how far you get. And they live from generation to generation, degenerating. But God did not stop them from living. So because our children can sell drugs, hustle, scam, kill, murder, do whatever, rape, rob, because they can get away with it, they think it's all good. They think they're living. God is not going to stop you. Our job is to stop you. And when we put our energy together as a collective and say it's time to stop, you're going to stop. Are we going to clash? And we're going to clash, not only with the young, but with the old ones who protect the young. We're going to clash with you too. And they're going to be unfortunate and unnecessary dead bodies all over the place for nothing. And Satan will be laughing at us because his plan worked. Y'all don't know who he is, but it's a big new Brzezinski. He was an advisor to Clinton, and Obama admired him. But Brzezinski was a scientist, a social scientist who said there was a time when it was easier to fool 1 million people. But now that they're getting wiser, it's easier to kill 1 million people. They are going to kill us and have succeeded in introducing all types of foreign matters into our bodies, including that great and godly, lovely marijuana that everybody loves so much. It's genetically modified. And the next brand that comes out will be sprinkled with fentanyl dust. I said they're going to sprinkle it with fentanyl dust to get you so high, horse tranquilizers, that you're going to need fentanyl. How do you know, Jamil? Because they sprinkled it with crack. And I sat on the corner as a marijuana dealer and saw most of the people who once sold marijuana turn to smoking crack because they did what we call smoking woolly blunts or wooler blunts, cracking up crack inside the weed. We're right back there again. There ain't nothing we going through that we haven't already been through. Y'all are drug addicts. You're lazy. You have no focus. You have no future. That's why you have to keep coming up over and over. That's why you rob somebody, get 100,000, and next month you got to rob somebody else because you don't know how to manage money. And you're addicted. So in our minds, if I got 10,000, nigga, I can spend 1,000 on some weed and smoke. I smoke it all, nigga. I throw 1,000 at the club. All your money gone. But you think this is you doing this. But this is Satan connecting to the frequency of the devil in you and me. We do what we feel like doing. And we got parents who will kill other people for us. Daddy, he won't let me do. Daddy comes in, he ready to kill everybody. Instead of telling that child like I did mine, sit your ass down and stop talking to grown people that way. You a child. Ask them. I never back my children in their foolishness. Now, if you hit them, that's different. But when their mouth is running and they're doing something to disrespect elders, I'm not going to back that. Our Father, the devil. I'm going to play a little bit more of this and then I'm going to close. I'm sorry. I had so much to go over and I didn't get to do it. But let me start this from the beginning again. Chuck D is talking about something that you all should understand clearly. Then I want to go into what happened with Travis Scott at the event that he just had. And then we're going to close after that, okay? Let's go.
Chuck is consistently ranked as one of the top MCs and lyricists of all time.
The whole game and trick is that they could get time on their side and get a couple of generations who are really combative about it to get old and pass on and trick the new generations and throw toys at them to hold them off. And one of the biggest crimes is the MTV networks and the Booty and Thug network of BET that's hijacked hip hop and rap music. And their whole games is to extend teenage years to 35. This has been the principle since 1990. Let's turn teenagers from 17 to 35. And when they wake up out of the fog at 36 years old, they feel that, you know, with 3 or 4 kids, they're paralyzed to move left or right. And so they got to go with the flow.
Historical facts show some things were created by racists centuries ago to redefine black people. And a lot of it, as they say in marketing, has been sticky. Meanwhile, other things that have purposely been created to redefine blacks positively don't stick. But why?
One of the greatest propaganda campaigns of all time was the masterful marketing of the myth of black inferiority to justify slavery within a democracy. Ingenious. Tom Burrell, marketing veteran.
When Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence, announcing the self-evident truth that all men are created equal, at that very time of writing that, he owned some 175 slaves.
I want to stop right there again. All of these mythical white folks that they taught us through school that was so great, from Abraham Lincoln, who was a liar. He did not free the slaves, and he did not believe that we were equal, to Thomas Jefferson, who said he believed we were equal, but at the same time had 175 slaves still working in his camp. Not only that, but he took parts of slaves to make false teeth for himself. He took their teeth out and made false teeth for himself. It's a known fact that he died from that he had complications from syphilis, from sleeping with our women who were not treated for the disease. So these people, from Christopher Columbus, who lied about discovering America, and those who backed his lie. See, the power of a lie has a frequency. And when the frequency of a lie is not checked, you know, like you throw something in the water and it ripples and then it bounces back. If we don't stand in the front of that ripple and make it bounce back and check the lie, then the lie travels and it travels and it travels and it travels. The butterfly effect. One butterfly, historically, scientifically speaking, the wings of a butterfly and butterflies flapping together can have a direct effect on the clouds that are moved in to build tornadoes and hurricanes and all that other stuff. Seems very minute. But as I said in the beginning, all of these cancer cells that stay in our body all the time, just chilling, when they connect together, they can kill us. And what white folks have done is they stay together. But the greatness of white folks is that they always stay together. The greatness of some is that they realize their wrongs and they are trying to correct them. Even the greatness of them is that they realize they're wrong and they are willing to kill us to keep the wrong going. But our demise is our love of our lust and our doubles. We have to begin to ostracize anything that does not agree with what has to, the drastic changes that must take place for us to save our children, because none of them are safe. Never mind you keep them in the home and they go to college. They can get killed in college. They can get raped in college. They can change their minds in college. Somebody can entice their double in college. And once that devil is awakened, it is so exciting. It's like smoking crack for the first time. And anybody that smoked crack for the first time will tell you they will chase that high for the rest of their lives, but they'll never get it. It's like having a woman lick your vagina for the first time. Same high. Or having a man stick his penis in your anus area and finding the nerves in the anal cavity. Same high. And you chase that for the rest of your life, so you bounce from evil to evil to evil. Living, disrespecting God, disrespecting parents. Your father, my father. The devil and the devil. The devil, the negative frequency that permeates through every community, every household, every mind, every heart. That's why the Bible says God tests the reins of the heart. He tries the heart. The book says it. That's where the truth is. So when one person stops doing something stupid, it'll bounce right next to the next person will pick it up. That's why I did the commentary on Denzel Washington's movie Fallen, when that negative spirit would look for another to jump into. Man, this is heavy stuff, man. Because portals are all around us all day, every day, evil that'll just open up and swallow you if you're not on guard. And no matter, mama, what you say, that child is not going to listen to you. No matter what you say, daddy, that child is not going to listen to you. I've talked to these young people on the street, and before I can turn my back, they're talking about me, that nigga. Nigga don't know what's up on the streets, nigga. We this forever, nigga. We doing all type of twisted things with their fingers, man. Free my nigga so-and-so. What he do? He kill an innocent man, but free my nigga. They just want to do whatever. And then blame us for not being able to do what they do and calling the police. We're civilians. But we got a double too. White folks learned that throughout slavery, that these Negroes, they're going to fight back eventually. We're going to press them too hard. And now that they know this generation was supposed to save us, Chuck D put it as clear as anybody else, and that's our Preach. Preach, this is a Preach documentary from Arrested Development. He left music and started doing documentaries when he found out what was going on in the industry and how it was destroying families. And so Preach from Arrested Development, Tennessee, Lord, I'm him. He did it. He did this, put this together. So shout out to Preach. We can't save our children with just words, man. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. You can't beat it out of them. Jail ain't going to stop it. Death ain't going to stop it. They'll sit right there and watch their buddy die, smoke some weed and say, we going to get them niggas, man. We going to kill. Hey, but after they kill all of yours and one of these get killed, they cry. No, they killed my man, but you just killed 10 of theirs. But my man, though. So the rationale is gone. And it's grabbing our children at 3 and 4 and 5 now. So Sister Salima, daughter, I think at 14, and Brother Nure, son at 14 and younger. And that's killing us. Because we tried, man. We did everything we could. I tried with my sons. I kept them with me all the time. Even when I did dirt, I had them with me. I had them in martial arts. I had them reading. I had them in all kind of reading programs. My son was like got a scholarship to Morris College. I did all of that, and it's still gang, 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 gang. Snatch their ass up. Old dudes showing them how to do gang shit. Gang, 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 gang. And now whatever they do, they got to make that worthwhile. Like Chuck D said at 35, you didn't throw your hands up. What I am is what I am now. But man, we need people of consequence, man. We need people who know how to read the fine print, man. You can't take no drug money and build nothing. Y'all don't make enough. We needed to know how to get the grants and the grants, all grants. We wanted grant writers. We wanted y'all to take that manhood, tough energy, male and female. Instead, y'all took y'all little piece and got y'all little PPP loan and did y'all little thing. Instead of putting all of that money together and building a whole apartment complex, y'all go start some little menial, meaningless ass business that ain't gonna make it through the first 2 years. Everybody got bouncy houses. Everybody got DJ equipment and cameras. That ain't gonna last, man. We were supposed to buy land and do houses, do communities. We were supposed to do that. God gave y'all an opportunity. Y'all had the heart to cheat the government and did the damn wrong thing with the money. All right. I'm not upset, man. I'm just disturbed. Let's close. I'm going to play the rest of this. Chuck D, in the 90s, they changed the music. They did. And they started flashing all of these nice little toys and trinkets. And you know, you got people in Manning talking about they millionaires and all they got, and the Negroes don't have nothing. Because they fed us the fantasy. They fed us the lie, and it's in our souls. We believe it. We believe we're somebody when we're not. We rap on stage at these little beat up clubs like we some superstar, but you nobody, man. None of your people are buying your CDs and stuff you putting out. I know. I sold books, DVDs, CDs, documentary films in Manning since 1990. None of the local people, not 10 at the most, buy something from me. 10. All right. I'm going to play this. Pay attention to it because I want you to see white folks are talking on this. White folks know that if they tell the truth at this point, they're building up salvation for themselves. They know that. All black folks are not involved with this. All white folks are not involved with the destruction of the black man. But man, look, Satan is after y'all and he got y'all. That trap that y'all brag about, that was a trap. Satan built that whole concept for y'all to fall into it. Y'all didn't make no trap. Y'all were in the ghetto from day one. We were in the ghetto. We didn't have no running water. Now, instead of saying, let's get out of the ghetto, you lazy so-and-sos, because of cognitive dissonance, glorified being a bum. Nigga, I drink all day, nigga. I only drink the Henny, nigga. The Henny, nigga. I got the Henny, nigga. I got the good smoke, nigga. You know what I'm saying? We do this all day, nigga. We got the guns, nigga. You know what I'm saying? The ops, nigga. They trapped us into death. And if you're not murdered fast, you're dying slow from chemical poisoning. We're weak, black man. You're slaves to liquor, to drugs, and if not that, as I was, slave to prescription pills. Let's go.
That's how contradictory race relations started.
He didn't think blacks were very intelligent either. As he put it, quote, their existence appears to participate more of sensation than reflection.
This pop culture image of blacks as lower than, beast or brutes, sluts, unable to think in higher vibrations and intelligence, justified the racial inequalities that people saw, not only in white people though, but also in blacks, and every other race that were brainwashed by the factory, also from Jefferson.
He wanted blacks deported and separated from whites so that they would be, and I quote, beyond the reach of mixture, the American colonization.
Again, that's Abraham Lincoln, who wanted blacks deported and separated. Abraham Lincoln said to get rid of the slaves, but they could either go to Jamaica or Port-au-Prince, Haiti, but they had to leave America. And it was these, there's a book called Uplift Suasion. Read it, get it and read it. And it talks about these well-to-do black folks who thought, hey, man, just give us a chance to live amongst you and we'll be good niggas, man. We won't cause no trouble, man. So we could have left this country years ago, centuries ago. But it's the upscale Negroes who said, nah, we want to stay. So they spoke for all of us. And now you got a couple of politicians who you allow to speak for all of us. And that is a very dangerous thing to do, because if they're enjoying their life, if they are living, if they are in a good position in their life and fulfilling their lust and their desires of their heart, what do you think they're not going to help you. They will come to you when you want to be entertained. And you say, oh, that's a good person, man. We call them, they came. Yeah, but that's just entertainment. If I call you to come to a Black Panther rally, you ain't coming. If I call you to come to an anti-vax rally, you ain't coming. If I call you to come to a abusive rally, you not coming, because most of you didn't show up. Shout out to Senator Kevin Johnson and State Representative Kim Johnson, who did show up, who would have showed up. And if you know somebody who did show up, then shout them out. Shout out to all the pastors that came, the ministers that came. I ain't gonna start calling no names, but thank y'all for coming. We had a domestic violence event. Myself and Dale Castro Paul and LaToya Pugh Dennis, we had it, or Denise, we had it. But it wasn't enough people. It was very successful, but y'all don't show up if it ain't entertainment. Bet y'all got y'all behind to that Jeezy concert, though. To that football game all the way over there that y'all had to pay to get over there and get in there. Not only did you not show up, but you didn't put no money on the books, man. A white lady showed up. She spoke first. She had the only, Miss Ann, she had the only white. I think I got her card over here. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yes, her name was, she had the Haven of Rest at the Jordan Crossroads. Her name was Ann Driggers. She showed up. She had the only domestic violence center in Manny and Clarendon County that had to close down because she got ill. I'm closing. Let's play the rest of this, then we're going to close, okay?
Society. At the inaugural meeting of the society, Henry Clay explained its purpose, quote, to rid our country of a useless and pernicious, if not dangerous, portion of the population. Some of the most famous early Americans were not just members of the Colonization Society, they were officers. Besides Madison, there were Andrew Jackson, Daniel Webster, Stephen Douglas, William Seward, Francis Scott Key, Winfield Scott, and John Marshall.
These names were high-ranking officials in the United States. My brother went to John Marshall High School. There's likely street names with these names on it in your town. From scientists to presidents, to lay people of all races, the true humanity of black people were consistently challenged. Subhuman, a fraction of a human being.
But Abraham Lincoln, the great emancipator, didn't he believe in racial equality? No. During the Lincoln-Douglas debates, he said this, I am not, nor ever have been, in favor of making voters or jurors out of Negroes. There is a physical difference between the white and black races which I believe will forever forbid the two races living together on terms of social and political equality.
This was going on worldwide. Europeans had to deal with it since the first slave in Portugal, and in America since the first slaves in Jamestown, 1619. How can they justify this huge divide between the freedom-loving rhetoric that they espoused, mixed with this total and thorough addiction to free slave labor, knowing that it would make them the most powerful forces in the world? So the factory began. As said before, scientists, biologists, psychologists, marketing maestros started a brand. They perfected that brand over 400 years to the present day, where it I'm going to stop it right there for a second. Scientists, biologists, marketers, all of these people went into the branding of our people, of making us wear what they wanted us to wear, think like we wanted, that they wanted us to think, do what they wanted us to do. And now they have us in a murder cycle. It's no coincidence what's happening in Chicago and that all the drill rappers are getting these big contracts to spread death. Because they will go to a quote unquote ops gravesite and disrespect the dead. They are what the Bible called necromancers. The Bible say that is a sin. They're spreading death. They're spreading the energy of negativity over the entire earth, and our children are involved in that. I need you all to understand that Chicago has always been an experiment. They experiment on Chicago, Detroit, and New York. They experimented on them by putting chemicals in the light bulbs, by shooting chemicals off the top of projects, off of the top of the housing projects, and the people. They have a documentary called Pruitt Igoe. Look it up at what they did to the people. How come these projects or these housing projects turn dilapidated over time? Because it's the mindset. Ghetto is a mindset. Now killing our young boys and girls by the time they're 12 and 13 is a mindset. And you think it's all right because yours got out, but it's not all right. Because when young people move into your neighborhood, you got a threat. Because they come with the power of the world on their side, the power of their devil, the power of the devil. 3, 4 in the morning, music. And when we can't play music, if you call the cops, we will shoot at you. They have two people inside of them. They'll tell you they love you out of one side of their mouth, and they will plot to kill you out of the other side. They are not in control of themselves, but they are very dangerous and very deadly. And God says in the book of the Bible that you love, because you forgot me, I will forget your children. That's what it says in the book. So there is no God protecting our children, only the devil and their desires, their devil.
And if we don't get back right, we done had our fun. We done slept with everybody. We done screwed everybody. We done licked coochie. We done put our dick in tail. We done partied. We done smoked. We done it all. Now it's time to sacrifice your life for the next generation, because white folks are sacrificing. No matter what you see in Clarendon County with black folks are not united. White folks got the power position. I'm not mad at them for that. They opened up a methadone clinic when they saw that their children were dying because of fentanyl and other drugs. We went and got fentanyl so we could make money off of ours. We destroyed families. We're the most backward people on the planet. Nobody likes the nigger. Nobody. You don't even like them. So you're rich and elite in this town, black folks, they'll come party with you. They'll come down to you to make money off of you, and you buy from them because you're so starstruck. Oh, they got, oh, look at what they got. Oh my God. Oh, you're so starstruck. But they do nothing for the community. If you ain't got the heart to call them out, stop praying to God. God is not going to help you or me if we do not help ourselves. How does the scripture say it? Prayer without works is futile, is useless. But you know what we think work is? Building another church. We building a church. We building another church. We building another church. That is not work. Work is seeing the transformation of this generation of children begin to trickle down into something better. Y'all hear me? You only got about 3 or 4 people like me in this town. All right. What they did is they got scientists, social scientists, everybody, demographics, all. They know where we are. They know what we like. They know what entices us. They know we love toys. When I see these young boys riding on them four-wheelers, I'm embarrassed, man. They're like little children. I mean, I ain't got nothing. I love ATVs. I love guns too. People know I do. Listen, I pray that I don't incriminate myself, but I mean, I carry guns to school. I love guns. When I was in school in the 80s, I was always a loner. So, I mean, listen, man, if you come my way, ask people about me. But I would shoot in the air first, so I would point it, let you see I got it. I show it to you. Listen, that's just the way we were. Because I didn't hang with a lot of people. I would run from a fight because I'm not going to fight you. I would probably shoot you. My sister knew, God rest her soul, Tiny, she knew. We got to save the babies, man. Let's finish. Scientists are on this thing. Scientists know what we love.
Has been generationally normalized to where even most black and brown people would have it no other way. They know no other way. They've become conditioned to accept the image that was started by racists, to where they look at it as our thing, our culture, our niggas.
Chuck is
Okay. You hear that? When we cannot fight a thing, when we cannot beat a thing, we just give into it. Now we accept this as our culture, our thing. This is our thing. All right. I want to close. I thank y'all for tuning in, but I really didn't even touch the surface of this thing. I talked about Travis. I talked about Travis Scott. I want us to be prepared, unfortunately, to lose our children to this world. God was preparing me for that. When I fought so hard to get my children, and I thought they would just love me and love on me forever. And the moment they got a chance to leave home, man, them Negroes turn and gut it, and they ain't turn around. They turn around now to say, hey, but let me tell you something. When they got their ass, I got one of them that say I ain't never did nothing for them. They haul tail. You talking about a broken-hearted person? And to hear them talking about all these other people, that's mama and grandmama and granddaddy, them the people that were a part of the people who broke me. But in order to be around my children, I got to act like, yeah, yeah, I see what you're saying. And that's some stuff, right? But we got to let them go, man. We got to let them go. If they're not a part of the solution, they're a part of the problem. I think that they should be able to build their own world over there. Amen. My 14-year-old son, I can see it coming. This world is sucking him up because as much advantages as he has in life, he ain't satisfied. He never satisfied. So what's the use to give you something when 5 minutes later you're going to say that ain't enough? That is the devil. The devil lusts for everything and is never satisfied. You get every woman that you want out of life. You're never satisfied. It gets to the point where you start having sex with men because you done had sex with all the women and it don't please you no more. So now you have sex with men your age that don't please you. You go looking for little boys. Now you molesting little boys. Next thing you know, you molesting dogs and chickens and birds. The Bible says don't sleep with the chicken. Don't sleep with the bird. All of the things that we're going to engage in later on in life. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. I'm going to close with this. I think I had to. Yeah, I got it. Travis Scott had an event over the weekend, last weekend, the Astro World Festival. And at that festival, it has been reported that 8 people are dead so far, but 300 people have been injured. And the children are on Twitter and on social media saying they couldn't breathe. Many of the children literally had heart attacks, children at an event. And they said that they were telling Travis Scott to cut the music, and he wouldn't cut the music. I think Drake was there. They said that somebody was in the crowd sticking people with needles. And the young man, I think, okay, I want to play this one. Let me play this one. Because the young man is talking to, no, that's Travis Scott. He not what I want. Let's go back. But I wanted you to see where we are with this music thing. This music thing is going to destroy our young. So we got to battle against that now. We got to stop that. We have to. Okay. So I don't think I can find it right now. I'm lost. So I want to thank you all really sincerely for tuning in. And I'm not upset. I'm just concerned at where we are. I'm concerned that the older people are not satisfied with their lives. And so they find satisfaction in making the young people just as crazy as they are. And the young people have certain people that they are trying to impress. So what they end up doing is doing whatever those young people say. Okay, I got it right now. I want to play it. Let me play this for you. And after this, I'm going to close. Okay, this is only this is not very long, like a minute and a half. Let me play this for you. Okay. And after this, we're going to close. So let me swing this back around. I just love my little thing that we put together, man. It can really put it down. You can really see the videos now, and I ain't got to hold the camera. So here we go. Listen to this and look at the video.
Welcome back to Good Day Orlando. Breaking right now in Houston, Texas. Nearly a dozen people are in the hospital and 8 people were killed after a crowd surge trampled music fans at a popular festival. Fox's Chelsea Edwards from our Houston affiliate joins us now live near the concert venue in Houston. Chelsea, good morning. What can you tell us? Is there a new update this morning with regard to conditions of everybody involved and what the police are working on at the moment?
Yes, good morning. We have gotten a couple of updates from officers here at the Wyndham Hotel. This is a meeting point for families who are still looking for loved ones who may have been at the concert last night and they have not heard from them. This is where they are sending people to find out where those loved ones may have gone, especially if they are at the hospital. Now, we have been told by officers here that the 17 people who were sent to the hospital during this event, they have been connected with loved ones. They are still looking for the family of one of the people who were killed. But right now, we're told that they have been able to track down the families of most of the people who were involved in this tragedy.
And Chelsea, we understand at least 8 people have been confirmed dead. And as far as the injuries go, what are you hearing from the ground there with regard to the extent of people's injuries, from scrapes and bruises to cardiac arrest?
Yeah, that's right. So just to run back some of what happened last night, it was around 9:15 when police say there was a surge towards the stage. Now, we're told that there was a surprise performance by Drake, where it's unclear whether he was on the stage at that time, but there was a surge, and there were 50,000 people in attendance last night. So a huge crowd. And during this surge, we're told 11 people went into cardiac arrest. There was simply just panic, people being crowded. I spoke to one young man who was there last night. He just described it as packed and hot. So first, the responders had to perform CPR on these 11 people. Right now, we don't have an update on their status. We don't know if these are the same people who were pronounced dead at the scene. We're just told that, they sent about 17 to the hospital, and we're waiting on for an update on those. But we are also told about some injuries, some head trauma. Of course, you can imagine this was simply chaos, people being trampled.
All right, I'm going to stop it right there. Now, you're talking about, let me stop this. I'm sorry. You're talking about 50,000 people, right? Young people in a concert hall, packed. Nobody got on a mask, right? Another hot spot for what they got planned for this winter. This stuff is all planned. And what they use is young, ignorant people. And you see them running to see Travis Scott and Drake like they're going to see God, man. Like, you already paid your money to see these people, and now you're going to just run after them like you're crazy. Our children are possessed. And what happened in that event was the frequency, the flashing of the lights, the frequency, the heat. All of these things play a part. And not only that, man, a packed house of sardine with COVID, with that thing still out. You know what I mean? And they're going to take all of that back home. You're talking about 300 people injured, heart attacks, people being trampled, and they're still looking for people at this point. They're not going to tell you how many people died. But this is what music is doing to us. Started with Michael Jackson and people like that. Teddy Pendergrass and them had it, but they were calm with Marvin Gaye and them. They were calm. But then Michael came in, and Michael saw what was happening, and they got rid of him, and they'll get rid of anybody. But their ultimate goal is to keep us lulled to sleep with frequency, sound, and foolishness. That's my warning for us today. I'm done. I thank you all for tuning in to this installment of the 19 Report. This was it's always hard for me because I know people have a tendency to take what I say personal. If I didn't call your name, then it's not personal. I called Nuri Ali, and I called Sister Salima, talking about the unfortunate murder of their children, and Dale Castro, the unfortunate murder of their children. And that's what I called, and nobody else. So whatever I said, by God's permission, it's meant for all of us, myself included. I'm always eager to start, to hear, and to go back and listen, because I learned from my own words, because God talks through me, and things are said that I don't really hear until I go back and listen. So I thank you all for tuning into this installment. I'm so sorry I didn't even get to again, you can go back to the 19 Report on YouTube. I was trying to get to something. You can go back to the 19 Report on YouTube, and you can look at some of our videos. I did one on the fear frequency, and I also did one on Mute the Music, talking about what the bass and the church and everything else is doing to the blood in the body. So I thank you all for tuning in. Jamil Salib, Manning, South Carolina.
Tell me like it is, and not like it was. Tell me like it is, and not like it was.